Hello and welcome to the most cursed RPG show on the internet. Hello and welcome back finally to From Dust, episode 18. Holy crap. That's a lot of episodes. If before I get into our intros and stuff, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're confused as to why there isn't an episode 17, it's because technology is the fucking worst. And that one is just lost to time. But fortunately, sort of, it's been 4 months since we played this game. So we're going to have to do a pretty thorough recap at the beginning anyway. So, you know, all you missed was the wonderful performances of these three lovely players. So, you know, we'll survive, I guess. But before we get into the recap and talking about the game and all that stuff, it has been so long. It has been so long since we have all sat down in a Zoom call on the internet and hung out together. So, hi, how have you been? Summer, I have not talked to you in any capacity in so long. How have you been?
Wow. I've been so good. I had a baby since our last episode.
That's true.
Yeah, remember that?
You had a whole ass baby.
That's why we took a break.
There's another human being now in the world than there was 4 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm doing great. Just like so fucking stoked to be back. Like I just been thinking about this game pretty much nonstop for the past like 2 weeks and then yesterday was it that I was like, do we play tomorrow? Like insane. Yep. Oh my god, so excited. But yeah, you know what I'm up to. You know. I'm just you know, at home with a baby, working on map commissions now. That's a new thing. Started a couple new podcasts. That's a thing. Bringing back shows slowly to my channel, playing a shit ton of Minecraft. Yeah. It's just been a time of me doing things and finally doing this again.
Yeah.
How do you sum up like 4 months? Right? Genuinely.
That is a long time. I feel like the big one is the baby, right? The big one is Wes. Like that's like some other big stuff has definitely happened, but yeah, I feel like Wes is the biggest of the big stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely the biggest change to my day-to-day. Oh, but yeah. Other than that, chill. Yeah. I wrote a couple games too.
Yeah, that's true. Had you made any when we?
No.
Yeah, so you made, was Knowing You the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made Knowing You, which is a heartbreaking game that hurts me emotionally, in like a very real way. And then you made a fucking The Floor is Lava game? Is that
The
Floor Is?
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, The Floor Is. Oh my god, what a time. I forgot about that one. That one just kind of like happened sporadically, like at night. I was like, Kiana basically put out the couch dungeon jam and I was like, my floor is lava. That's what that is. And so that game is fucking fun. We played that and it was a wild time. I would say that it's probably about as wild as, not as wild as, what was it called? Yes, but yes, and was that it?
Yes, but
I would say it's in the same realm of game, being just a wild fucking time. Yeah, and then Futurity, which is a tarot game where you can turn into the stars and then turn into gold and your girlfriend. Yeah, you turn into a gold ocean, and then your girlfriend and her sister and her girlfriend, who's the queen of that realm, have to come save your butt.
Yeah,
it was fun.
And then time changes or something.
And then time. What is time?
What is
in that game?
Really? Yep. That game is fucking wild. I feel like it has. I feel like a lot of role-playing games are sort of like bowling with the what is it, the bumpers on the like side things, where like games are meant often to guide you into a specific realm, and I feel like with Futurity you were like, nah.
Let's go.
This game is basically, you open up the book and it says do what you want.
Yeah That's it.
Like, you won't, coward.
You won't. And then thousands of years later in the game, you're just like, so I guess it's done now, because the game doesn't have an end. It literally is like, end the game when you fucking feel like it. End the game when it's over. But every time I've played, it's had a very distinct ending where it was like, like ours was the singularity. So like there wasn't.
Right. The singularity where everyone became one.
Everyone became one thing, but it was also queens within the nothingness that we were living in. And then we went into the afterlife. It's hard to tell.
Maybe. And then the other one that we did, time stopped existing.
Yeah, time stopped moving forward.
Well, time just stopped existing.
Yeah,
like,
but people were still around.
Change happened without time existing. So
yeah, and I disappeared, a motherfucker. Just like, goodbye to you. You're out of here now. I'm the one.
That's a fun time.
Yeah, I highly recommend playing it if you want to get crazy.
All of these games are on itch.io. You should go get them. Oh, I don't think I've updated your end card for this show, so
don't do it. Don't ever do it.
I think all of ours are super out of date.
I think you're probably right. Oh shit. Okay. But yeah, well, I'm glad to have you back, Summer, finally, after 80 billion years.
It's been so long, I'm ancient.
Yeah. Oh god, I need to update that command too. Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm a dinosaur. I'm a streaming dinosaur that slowly changes things.
Jessica.
She's dead. Don't ask.
She's dead. She's not really dead. The real Jess isn't dead.
No, she is. She just comes back on Sundays.
Yeah. From the grave.
Yeah, she just like lifts up out of the grave. It's like, all right, let's play some Ryutama. Cool, that was fun.
Give me a smooch. I'll come back for the smooches.
Speaking of coming back for the smooches, Kiana, how are you doing?
I've been good. In the 4 months we've been away, I convocated.
Congrats!
I'm no longer a student. I'm a full-time working human being.
What's that like?
It is, it's a time. It's definitely a shift. Yeah, I've been, still playing games, but I've been doing a lot more writing and designing games recently. I've done a whole bunch of micro RPGs on itch.io since we last touched base. I think did Before the Tower Falls happen before we went on break? I think.
I don't think so, because I remember talking to you about, you were like thinking about that game. You were like talking about ideas for that game when we did the Spoken Magic.
Yeah, so I've released like 5 different games.
I feel like such a slacker.
No,
you're not.
No, you're not. I just like to find game jams and then just write bullshit for like 4 hours and then publish it without playtesting it.
Kenna, me too. We should team up sometime and not playtest our own game together.
Yeah, but yeah.
I hate playtesting.
I only have playtested things that I've co-designed or co-written. All of my own shit. I'm just like, meh.
Good enough.
It's like 24 hours before the deadline of this game jam. Let me just casually make a game. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't playtest Spoken Magic. I playtested Become a bit. Actually, at last year's Big Bad Con was when I had my first playtests of that game.
Yeah.
And then like the stream that I did here for Fun Shots Season 1, I guess was technically a playtest of that game. But for Spoken Magic, I just like made it for the game jam, submitted it, and was like, cool. And then I played a game and was like, I have an idea for a tweak to this game. And then I watched Jess and her friend Lynn play, and I was like, oh, there's a massive hole in this game. Hold on. Like really quickly fixed that.
That happened with Life in the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
I had someone play it. I was like, oh no. Oh, I need conflict resolution mechanics. Fuck.
Whoops.
Like it would literally it can work because it's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just ask each other questions and then it's a yes or no. But there's no actual mechanic.
Right.
And I'm like, I need to be more specific. That's the thing. But yeah, so I've been doing that. I've actually written a setting for a publication. I am one of the stretch goal writers on Hearts of Wulin, which is super cool.
That's wild.
Yeah, so I kind of just went from like doing no game design to doing 10 million things at once, which I'm not complaining about, but it's definitely a huge ass shift from where I was 4 months ago, which was doing 5 to 7 shows a week.
Yeah.
And one game that I wrote to 3 to 4 a week, and then 6 fucking games and more. But yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. Definitely exercising those muscles that I haven't done in like since I did on and off in like university, but not on my own time for like school assignments.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just like, huh, okay, writing, brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was what got me to write Become the first time. When I wrote my very first draft of that was, I think I hit summer break in like the break before my last semester of college. I was like, I want to be a person who has made a game, and so I just carved out a week and only made a game for that week. And then when I came back to it after I graduated and was like, okay, I'm gonna polish this up and like get it to a point where it's done, I went, this entire game is a piece of shit. I'm gonna remake it from the ground up. But damn, yeah, that is a whole fucking lot.
Yeah, there was a lot that happened, but I'm excited to be back here.
Oh yeah.
Considering the last time we were in this world, it was just me and Dylan stabbing each other
Yeah,
super hard.
Shank, 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 shank.
I mean, my character literally let your character stab her.
Mm-hmm.
Literally let him stab her.
Yep.
So that they could have a heartfelt, weird moment.
I love bonding through attempted murder, you know?
Yeah, it was like attempted murder. And then be like, you're a dumbass. You could have told me about your problem. I still have your knife in me. It's cool. I'll heal myself.
Yeah, let me just use this knife to do healing magic. It's fine. Oh, God. Yep, that was the whole fucking time.
At some point, you should upload it.
I have it uploaded. I don't know if it's gotten to be public yet, but it's in my library on YouTube, either available now or waiting to be available. But yeah, that's a fun time. Adam, I haven't seen you like at all.
Yeah.
In 4 months. What have you been up to?
I know. It's kind of weird. It feels like I've been up to a lot and yet not a lot at the same time because I haven't had much to show for it. So, the same old stuff. I've been running Waterdeep Dragon Heist for my friends, enjoying the married life. We are finally, I think I've dropped tidbits about it on the show before, but we are officially moving to the DFW area in Texas in November.
Nice.
And so it's real now. We're like apartment hunting and like net
Ooh.
loans and stuff, all the big stuff. And anyone that follows me on Twitter and social media, like up to this point, I've typically done like video essays and just thought pieces about tabletop stuff. And for my birthday, my wife got me Call of Cthulhu, the starter set.
Oh, yes.
And I loved it because I loved it came with this one-player module that was like this awesome kind of like choose your own adventure thing. And just for giggles, I was like, I'm going to record myself doing this. And that kind of planted like this weird narrative bug in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So like suddenly like my whole like mission with my channel totally changed. And like I had a bunch of like video blog scripts at the ready, like with different topics and stuff. And suddenly I was like, I don't want to feel like doing that right now. So instead, like for the last several months, I've been planning out this audio drama I have in my head and writing out the scripts and everything. So what I have right now is it's titled Spritz the Goblin. It is based on a character that has existed for a long time. I'll probably explain a bit more of that later on. But it is set within the D&D universe, homebrew, not like hardcore like lore or anything like that, but it operates under the same rule. It's somewhat based on my first ever homebrew campaign, and it's just about this goblin who's real sick of living the goblin life. So he's trying to get in with the beautiful people, with civilization. And of course, that comes with challenges when you belong to a race that does not have a great reputation. So, it's going to be a lot about him just, playing with people's expectations and like prior prejudices and stuff, trying to make his way in the world. And I finally have completely scripted out and reached the final drafts on 4 episodes. I just recently recorded the theme song for it. And
nice.
I'm finally getting ready to the point where I'm going to start actually like recording the episodes respectively. So like that's going to be a big hoot. And depending on what the reception is like, I do have a long-term goal in mind. But if it just ends up being like a little blip on the radar, then it was a fun project to do for a while. And I'll probably start heading back to like my usual video blogs and stuff after that.
Awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Thanks.
That's kind of
I'm real excited and
wait.
real nervous about it. Because like I care a lot about it, and a part of me is like, if it fails, like, I really hope it doesn't. I hope people love it.
Yeah,
it's different from doing a video blog, it's different whatever.
And I mean the struggle of like knowing that you're working on stuff but not being able to put it in front of people yet, of being like, I'm doing all this pre-work.
And that's what it sounded like. Like I felt like I've been so quiet on the internet side of things. But like I've been working on this for like the last 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when we were finally getting back to travel, and getting that the second half of season 1 starting up, like there was a huge crunch for like a week and a half, I want to say, of like getting the overlays done, writing out the episode, Jess doing the art, all of that like happened mostly behind the scenes. And then we were like, ta-da, here's a show. But like all of that work has to get done, and you can't always do that work in front of people, which is weird when you're doing public facing work, right? Like,
I promise I'm doing stuff.
Yeah,
I'm alive.
Like, well, but if you think about other things that are somewhat public, like I think cooking is a reasonable analog here, where like there's a lot of prep work that needs to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in the kitchen.
Music, albums.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done not in front of the audience for the thing, in order for the audience to have the thing, but and that's something that we don't really question when it comes to food or music a lot of the time. Although I've definitely seen people give artists, like musical artists, shit for being like, why haven't you released an album today?
I haven't released an album in 2 years. It's like, damn, that's
Yeah.
hard, dude.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's
Chill
the fun
out.
thing of the public. Like, I do a lot of social media stuff, so it's a fun balance of like teaser and like timing all of that, so that you can give yourself wiggle room while still gathering like hype and showing that you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's this really weird balance I've had to figure out and be like, okay, so I'm making a game right now. I'm probably not gonna be done it for another month, but I should probably poke at it for a bit. So
Yeah. Well, and you don't want to tease stuff too early, because then people are like, you said you were doing this thing, and it's been a billion years. Where are you at?
I found that usually it's a month is the max that you can do. Because the whole thing is that people are say, like, if you say this is going to release in a month, that's actually feasible in people's minds to be like, as like, okay, a month from now there's going to be something.
Thank
rather
you
than
for
like
this
2
useful
months.
marketing info.
Hello. 2 months is too long, because that's also think about the cycle of information, the way that you structure your months too, right? Like by the your brain automatically thinks the end of a month means something, and the beginning of a month means something to you in cognizance. So 1 month.
That's all we got. That's all we got, fam.
Good to know.
I'm going to take that into starting when I start to promote new podcasts.
Yeah,
because we're working on those. So
yeah. So insight: 1 month, 2 weeks, 1 week, countdown.
Noted.
Yay!
Cool. I'm gonna not talk anymore about that.
Secret.
Let chat stew on what I may or may not be implying. Yeah, I mean, in the last 4 months, we had an entire season of Fun Shots. We had Fun Shots Season 2. That was good. It was a mess, scheduling-wise. We had a ton of, like, cancellations, and, like, a couple attempted reschedules and stuff, which was definitely taxing. Right? Like, I think that's the hardest part of doing stream shows is the scheduling, right? Like, if you don't stream games and you're like, gosh, getting a group of friends together to play a game is the hardest thing ever. Like, you don't know. Like, you've got an idea, but seriously, trying to schedule shows with people is so hard. Because, like, you can convince someone, hey, friendo, just come over and hang out. We'll order a pizza. We'll play a game. Like, don't worry about your makeup or anything. You can do that when it's real life. But when you're like, I would like you to be on the internet at these times in front of people. Like, I don't know. People need more energy for that. People need to be not sick. And, like, all sorts of stuff. And then you're dealing with people in different time zones, even. So that was rough, but we had some really good games in there. Dialect is always amazing, so I'm really glad that we got to end the season on that one. We also did a mini series for Travel. That was like a way in the past series taking place long before the main continuity of the show. That was way darker than the main show.
Got to be a bad boy.
Yeah, you were the baddest boy. You were Mahonia's baddest boy.
I'm so proud of myself.
Played a bunch of games, other people's channels. Got to run a horror game over on Katie's channel recently. That was a lot of fun. Made a new game, I guess. Did Spoken Magic existed when we left off? I don't know. And then we did the Spoken Magic one shot. So I don't know. I made a game.
Right.
I'm bouncing between like 3 different game ideas for my next one that I'm going to jump into, but I don't know. And the game that I'm publishing is really close to done. I am working with the artist on the cover art, and I have like 2 pages of writing to do. Yup. That's what's left. And then I can move on to printed proofs, and I am so excited. I have been waiting literally a year at this point, pretty much, to get this game done. How close? Like a month, 2 weeks, a week? We just learned about this. Look, I'm not ready to announce anything yet. Okay, but I might be close to ready to announce an announcement. I'll put it that way.
Soon, kind of.
Soon, TM. Look, I came up, my marketing knowledge came up hanging out in the esports scene, so I'm used to over-promising super early. But yeah, I'm very excited for that, and like, I've been posting the art for that, the interior art previews of that on the Kickstarter publicly for everyone to see every time Damaring gets new art in, and she has just been blowing me away with her work on this book. It is so good, and like, I had all these ideas and images in my head. Like, I will give myself some credit for my art direction on this, but her ability to take my descriptions and turn them into actual images of this setting, this really weird setting that until now only really existed inside my brain, has been like world changing for me. It's been such an amazing experience, getting to see that like take shape. So that's been good. I don't know. Other shit happened. But you know what else happened? Because we've been going for like 30 minutes now, and we already started late. What else happened was a previous episode. What a segue. I'm a professional.
I was gorgeous.
Thank you.
I teared up.
But yeah, so previously, I would love to say last week or 2 weeks ago, but 4 months ago on From Dust. Oh god, I'm gonna recap this and then we're gonna go to our first break probably. Damn. So previously on From Dust, in episode 17, titled The Heist, we came upon our heroes, Tres Sad Boys, Arrow's ex-girlfriend, Allie, and Arrow's sister, Hawk, who is in a cage at the time, in the center of the army of the undead. We came upon them as the undead Eldrin, Ilmogara, the creator, appeared and basically pulled a, "Aha, you have fallen for my trap." The players broke Hawk out of her cage and attempted to fight Ilmagara. Maybe not fight Ilmagara, kill her. Arrow shot her in the head. I'm getting there. Shot her in the head, which was surprisingly ineffective, given that she appeared to be using that head to like speak and stuff. But unfortunately, she is undead, like very undead, and so did not die when that happened. However, shortly after this arrow, which was crafted for Arrow, I love the names that Summer gives me in this game. After that weapon pierced Ilmagara's skull, which was forged for the character Arrow by the now dead character Vori, it erupted and blew flame, surprising her, causing her to shrink back. And the party ran underground. They ran through the army of the dead as it was in disarray. Went back to the secret tunnel, the hidden tunnel that they had gone through before, opened it up to let these horrible giant spiders pour out and begin doing combat with the undead, pushed through and managed to get away. But Ilmagara, not wanting them to escape, called down her formidable magical might and brought the ruins that they were in crashing down around them. When the dust settled, Hawk had an injured leg. I don't remember if it's broken or if it's just sprained, but I think it was broken and got healed to just sprained. If I remember correctly. They were all separated amongst the rubble. They began trying to find their way to each other, but a couple choice failed rolls meant that wasn't really working out, and the floor collapsed the rest of the way as they fell toward a Eldrin ruin further beneath the ground. Unfortunately, Arrow, in his attempt, his desperation to save his sister Hawk at all costs, was struck in the head by a stone and killed. Except that previously he gained the power to rewrite fate for a person, once ever for a given person, and he rewrote his own fate. He pulled time back and managed to avoid being crushed to death. And he's the only one that knows that. He's the only one that knows that he died and then came back and can never do that again. The rest of the party thinks he's fine. They then went into this ruin, which they discovered was a vault of some kind. I believe Theron was reading some of the Eldrin runes on the door and discovered that it was like a vault or a bank, something of that nature. They went in and they were exploring, finding that like the door opened to Farron, if I remember correctly. And then as they were going through, they came across these horrid automatons that were basically taking bits of material to reconstruct themselves and the facility, whatever material happened to be on hand. They slunk further into this facility, finding the actual vault itself that had held the valuables of this installation. Arrow tried to open it, and that didn't work out very well. And then Farron tried to open it, and that did work out, which was weird. And then Farron went into the vault and heard a voice calling to them from one of the vault drawers and went toward it. And then, if I remember correctly, Arrow, was it you walking into the vault that set off the alarm? Or did one of the...
How dare you ask me a question
either
about anything that happened
One of
last time.
two things happened. One of two things happened, and we'll never know. Either Arrow walked into the vault and that triggered an alarm, which I think is what happened.
I don't think so.
Or
because
one
me
of
and
the
Allie were
automaton
hiding.
came around the corner.
Yes,
that's what it was.
that's
One of the
what
automatons
happened.
came around the corner,
Saw that was open.
saw it was open,
And
set off the
freaked.
alarm. Gregor, Allie, and Arrow started fighting this automaton as more were coming through. Theron opened the drawer, discovering a no stone, and when they touched it, the three of them experienced a shared vision again. They saw an Eldrin over the at the anvil over the volcanic pit of Unclume, creating with a hammer a mortal being. At which point this Eldrin claimed that Ilmagara wanted all of the creatures to be the same, but that this Eldrin would not allow that to be, and that that some of them would be different. Some of them would carry with them the power of the Eldrin. And then we got a lovely memory of Theron's going through his time before he left home. Their wanderlust their desire to go see the rest of the world, their parents' lack of support for that idea, and then Farron just sort of leaving. And when we came back to the present time, Farron was holding this no stone, received an Eldrin power from it, and space warped around the party. And they find themselves now standing in Cape Symbol, on the other side of the region from Eliserdrin, where they were before. Standing there, no longer being attacked by monsters, just on the docks, gently swaying with the tide, sound of seabirds and faintly ringing bells coming over the water. It's the early evening. The sun is just about to set. What do you do?
Are we dead?
It literally in shock of what's going on right now. Is Arrow.
Yeah, Farron looks around, looks at the rest of the party being here, and just goes, I don't believe so. Though, this place hasn't changed in 50 years, apparently.
Where are we?
We're in Cape Symbol. My, hometown.
How
You actually recognize where you are now
from
that Farron says
vision?
that from the memory. Yeah.
How is my little sister? How's she doing?
She's exhausted, but not dead. She could use probably a week, at least, of rest before any hard travel. Is your guess? Allie is confused. She's still got her bow out, and she's just sort of like looking around, trying to figure everything out. She's never left Eliserdrin.
Yeah, and I think as Farron notices, she does say, I would suggest maybe putting that away. Not a hostile place, it's just, generally speaking, most people don't carry around weapons.
Right. We have to go back. How did you do that? You have to take us back.
I legitimately don't know.
Okay, well, figure it out and take us back.
All right. I'm going to need some time to figure this out. Not going to happen like this. I'm not sure. It's, like I said, it's just, I pick up a magic stone, I get memories, and then suddenly we are panicking, and then we are here.
Y'all can recognize that this is not dissimilar to what happened to Arrow in Two Rivers. So, Hawk grabs your arm, Arrow, and says, "You can't argue them into getting us home."
We can't be away from home right now. They need us.
Do you have a faster way to get us back?
No.
She turns to you, Farron, without saying anything more to Arrow, and holds out a hand. "Thank you for saving us back there."
Well, of course. The least I can do when I'm not much of a fighter.
And while we're here, call me Willow.
Willow. All right. You look like you need some rest, and I think all of us might need some rest. I know a place here we could probably rest at least overnight, not longer, while we recover and I figure some things out.
Do you mean your home?
Yes, well, not sure if anything else has changed around here, including what people thought of me. So,
In my limited experience, when you leave under bad terms, you're not always welcome back with open arms. You should be
right,
prepared for that.
which is why I said it's a maybe. Might as well give it a try, I suppose.
That'll be all right. I don't think things can get much worse than they already were.
Like Pharaoh raised a brow at that, and kind of way. And would be like I said, just keep weapons sheathed. Generally, don't look suspicious.
I don't suppose there's anywhere to get stuff fixed because Gregor will shake his shield around, which was like torn apart by those things.
Yeah, it was actively
of
deconstructed.
Yeah.
I think even actually, like, while everyone previous conversation, Gregor was just checking himself out, making sure everything was all there.
Yeah, how's your HP? You're at half HP, so you're I
Yeah,
think
have
you're
pieces
actively
taken off.
bleeding right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also
you all-
about half.
Gone.
You all look like shit.
Yep. Makes
covered-
sense. I mean, we're dirty, wet,
Mhm.
bloody, sweaty.
Yeah,
Awful.
you have a layer of dirt, and then you have a layer of blood, and then you have a layer of like stone dust caked on that
Yeah.
blood, and then some more blood. It's
Yep.
just bad.
And still bleeding, most of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, Farron is looking okay, but yeah, they'll just be like, yes, it's a fishing and trading town. There's plenty of merchants here. Let's get more refreshed and healed up.
Yeah, seriously.
Farron will lead the way through the streets of Cape Symbol towards where they remember their family home to be.
How's Allie? She hasn't said anything yet.
She's very quiet.
Love that for me.
Would you like to try and ascertain what's going on with her?
Yeah, yes. How do I do that?
That would be rolling. It's not called perception. Nope, that's not. It's the move that has to do with seeing stuff.
Discern realities?
That one.
Hey.
Is that it?
That is it. I'm just.
Scare me.
It's when you examine a person or a situation to.
Here I
yada,
go.
yada.
A 7.
7. Okay, not great.
Okay.
Let's see. I finally have found discern realities.
I could ask a
Alright.
question.
Nope, that's defy danger. That's defend. Am I just bad at spelling, or are these not in alphabetical order? They're not. Love this book. Thanks, Adam Coble. There it is. When you closely study a situation or person, roll plus wisdom. On a 7 to 9, ask 1. What happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout here? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control here? Or what here is not what it appears to be? And feel free to ask a question and then say what I actually mean is.
Yeah. What should I be on the lookout for? Is she gonna have a breakdown? Is she okay? How's she handling this?
Is she okay? Is that the question you're asking?
I mean, what should I be on the lookout for? Like, how should I prepare myself for whatever emotion is going to come from her? Like, how do I best help her right now?
You're not gonna like this answer.
That's fine.
You need to be supportive. That's how you can best help her right now, is by listening and being there.
Okay. I'm good at listening. I'm just bad at talking.
Listening is a participatory activity.
Sure. Oh, so don't just be there thinking about my own problems.
Do something.
No, if you're just sitting there thinking about what you're going to say next, that is in fact not listening.
That's not listening.
Before we go to break, Farron, I would like you to, are you trying to get home without running into anyone that you know? Is that a goal that you have, or do you not care?
Or are you like, welcome me?
Hello. Look who's home.
I'm famous now. You may have heard of me.
I actually think that they're just going to go ahead because they don't think that anyone's going to really recognize them. She's in very different clothing, very different hairstyles, also kind of covered in cake and blood, in blood and dust and shit.
Yeah.
So they're a little like, yeah, I'm kind of concerned, but also, is anyone gonna fucking recognize me?
So
I look super different.
So the danger that I am putting in front of you,
Okay.
that you may or may not wish to defy, it's your call.
Yeah.
The danger is that you are going to get very noticed as a group, and not in the, oh, that's weird, I'm just going to sort of ignore that kind of way, but in the, that's weird, I should probably tell someone kind of way.
Yeah, we're going to try to avoid that.
So you can tell me how you are avoiding that, and that will define.
I think walking with the confidence of somebody
someone
who
that
belongs here.
Yeah.
How do you do,
Oh yeah.
fellow local?
Classic.
How can I help?
And also Farron knows this town.
Mhm.
Places have not changed in 50 goddamn years.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's not clearly which way do I go? It's just and we're gonna turn right here, and we're gonna turn left here.
If you would like to help, either Arrow or Gregor, if either of you feels like helping,
Yeah.
you just have to tell me what you do in fiction.
Hype man.
You're like, yo, it's Farron up in Cape Symbol.
No. Like, whatever Farron says, we're the background guy that goes, yup, Like we're just agreeing. We're helping. I guess we
Farron's
would
like,
just.
I'm supposed to be here, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We're all supposed to be here. That's us. We're the being here crew, and we belong. And we're just dirty
Yeah.
fisher folk.
Mhm.
Can I grab a fish? Does that help?
None of this
Helping
really
Just
by-
smell like them.
We are helping by not standing out, by also walking.
Keeping a low profile.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
limping, even though probably want to.
I don't see anything that says you can't
Chunk
both
of my
help.
cap is gone.
Yeah. How do we help?
Oh, there's a move for that. It's funny
it?
you
Is it-
ask. It's called aid or interfere.
Hey.
When you help
Oh,
or hinder someone, roll plus bond with them. On a 10 plus, they take +1 or -2, your choice. On a 7 to 9, they still get a modifier, but you also expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm ready to go to jail with you, Farron.
True friends.
Again,
Haha, I got a
Oof.
6.
I do love that.
But guess what? Guess who just earned some experience?
Experience. Congratulations.
And guess how many points I need to level up twice?
Uno.
1.
Gregor, did you also want to help?
Yeah, let's see if I can do damage control.
Oh, is that
It's really just a don't look fucking weird.
Yeah,
is that
don't
6
Don't look
is that,
weird rule.
Hold on, is that 6 including your bonds with Farron?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Whoa, dude.
I belong here.
You
All
do.
right.
Okay, it's pretty obvious that I don't belong here. Where do I
Yeah.
belong? Nowhere right now.
I think this is poetically perfect for Arrow and Gregor. Perfect.
Yeah. And okay, take a +1.
Yay! Let's
I'll
give this a
take
go.
that.
Defy danger with charisma.
That sounds about right. You're using charm and social grace, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10.
Nice.
So proud.
Okay, but unfortunately, not all of you are free of consequences. And we'll see what those consequences are when we get back after this short break.
Great. Fantastic. Great.
See you in a little bit.
Great.
Can I ask these questions live?
Well, you can ask that one live. Hello, and welcome back to episode 18 of From Dust, where we have a smooth, polished production. And you did it, Farron. You managed to walk through. You definitely get some strange looks from people, but mostly they're just like, I'm gonna keep my head down and pretend I didn't see that. That said, as you're walking through the town, quietly, Arrow, you rolled a miss.
Yeah, I got the experience from it, so I'm not mad.
Allie pulls at your sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Can we
Yeah.
talk?
Right now? Yeah. He'll slow down to a stop.
Yeah. I assume Lake will just like follow the party
Yeah.
and be like, "This is where your friends are."
She's a
Schmuck.
good girl. She's like yelling down, like, take your time. I don't want to be part of this. This is uncomfortable. Because we can talk to each other, remember?
Yes, you
Don't
can talk
forget.
with animals.
Yes.
You're mostly hearing a bunch of seagulls being like, "Food!"
Meesh, 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 meesh. I'm a rat in the sky.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe the occasional fish being like, "Oh God, I'm drowning."
Nature's terrible.
Nature's just horrifying. When Arrow stops, though, it does not go unnoticed by the rest of the party. What do you do? Do you stop when he does, or?
Gregor will glance to Farron.
Are you?
I'll let you make the call.
Yeah, I'm just. Are you all right there?
Go on. I'll catch up.
You don't know the town.
I'm a tracker, Farron. I think I can find you.
It'd be the first time.
Yeah. Feel like,
Literally found you across very long distances. I will be okay in a town.
yeah, I think Farron will just feel like, all right. Either way, if you just go down 3 blocks and then turn right, you should be able to find it.
Okay, well, I'll be there soon.
And Farron will look over to Gregor and shrug, and then just start talking.
This will be fine. Gregor, let's keep walking.
Once they're out of earshot, Arrow, Allie says, Arrow, what are we doing here?
I don't know. Farron, I think, accidentally brought us here.
No, not. What are we doing here?
What do you mean?
I came with to save to save Willow. Because she's my friend. And now I am halfway across the fucking continent from the only home I've ever known. And that your companions, she looks around and then leans in, they're not from the place we're from. They won't have the same urgency we do. What are we doing?
You have to trust me that I care as much as you do, and I'm going to get you home. I am. But they didn't leave us when it could have meant their lives. And I can't just... leave them.
Leaving's always seemed pretty easy for you.
I'm not the same person that left home. Things have happened. We need rest. We can rest tonight and we can talk about it.
Will we? Or will I wake up and you'll be gone?
No, I'm not going to leave you again.
I think this is a parlay.
But I don't like that.
When you have leverage on a GM character and manipulate them, roll plus charisma. Leverage is something they need or want, and that is you not leaving.
Okay, I will do as you ask.
And what you want is for her to trust you, right?
Yep. I don't want to roll this literally at all. A 9.
On a 7 to 9, they will do what you ask, but need some concrete assurance of your promise right now.
What do I have?
What can you give her that you literally can't leave without?
I mean, I'm thinking about my ring, but I can't give her the ring because I can't do my job without it.
I also don't think you can take it off.
Well, we haven't tried yet, have we? Help me, friends. What should I do?
Bow and arrow.
Yeah.
My bow and arrow? That's
You
a
can't
can't
leave without it.
Probably.
That's true. I can't. I hate that. Okay. Sure.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, thanks. I hate it. Yeah.
You asked for our help.
Thanks. You did a great job. It's a perfect idea. Okay, so he just like stands there for a second and then he sighs and unslings his bow and his quiver with his arrows and holds them out to her.
What's this?
I can't leave without them. You can hold on to them.
She nods, reaches out, slings the quiver over her shoulder, holds the bow. Call me Fletch.
Okay. And he like turns to start walking after the group,
Mm-hmm.
which they probably haven't gotten like that far away.
No, you can see them. They've like, I'm imagining like Cape Symbol is built up along this cliff or hill area, so it like there's a lot of weaving back and forth in the roads and stuff.
Yeah. And he just turns and looks back at her. I'm really sorry.
For what?
A lot of things, but this specifically right now. I'm sorry you got dragged along. If I had thought even for a second that something like this was possible, I never would have asked you to come. Leaving home should be a choice.
It should. And she starts walking.
Yeah, he'll go too.
And we'll cut to the rest of the party. You make your way, winding up past halls and homes and shops, and finally to a building that we've seen before. One that Dylan only very vaguely remembers from his descriptions and the memories, but one that Gregor, you also remember from this memory. If I remember correctly, it's like a 2-story, mostly wooden house. There's like a circular window on the second floor. That's where Farron's room is.
2 stories, very Mediterranean.
Yeah.
With sun and paint white.
Yeah, there we
with
go.
blue trim.
There we go. Okay. And you reach this house. Farron, what do you do?
I think as Farron gets to like the stairs up to the door, they stop.
You all right?
Yes, just been a while.
Do you need a minute?
And he looks over and like Gregor's still bleeding. Just like, I'm not sure if we have too much. Shouldn't be waste any more time while we have to attend to your
All right, good.
injuries.
You hear footsteps inside.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take up the 2 very short steps up to the door and just.
I think as your hand is about to hit the door opens, and you see your mother standing there. And she looks very surprised. And just sort of stands there for a moment.
Hello, Mother.
Farron?
It's me.
The gods, what's happened to you?
I'm sorry to drop in unannounced. A lot of things. Adventuring.
Do you have the names of your parents on hand by any chance?
Shit, I used to.
'Cause I don't think I wrote them down.
Now.
But I just
Summer,
call
do
her
you have
Mom.
them because you take notes?
There's a good chance I might. Hold, please.
I'm like, I gave names for them, but I don't remember.
Have my dad's name. Is that helpful right now? Hold
No.
on. Damn.
It's fine.
We did name them, though.
We did name them, and I'm.
Hold on. I'm still not convinced that I don't have these names.
We named them in an episode that never happened.
I'm still not convinced I don't have these. There's a good chance that we put them in chat somewhere.
Oh,
They're probably in Zoom chat.
they were probably in Zoom chat. Yeah.
They're probably in Zoom chat.
But you know what?
Name them again.
I do use I use name generators for names. So let's see. I have an Eridan. That sounds like that was the name of your dad. Eridan. Yeah, Eridan Arvier. I think that's correct. And then Alicia or Sithis.
One of those was your professor's name?
Sithis, I think, was the professor. Yeah, Sithis was the professor. Alicia was, would have been
Mother.
your mother then. And Eridan is your father. Sweet! Woo!
We have really similar names. High five.
You say check old video. That is the one episode that is gone forever. So, yeah, you hear Eridan inside call out, Alicia, what is it? And she steps aside from the door, and you see your father framed in an inner doorway as he's like wiping his hands off from a long day's work. Farron.
Father.
And who are these riffraff? As he walks up. And I think this is around when Arrow and Fletch catch up.
They're my friends and traveling companions. As you can see, we got caught up in some trouble.
I told you that would happen.
I'm still alive, though. I'm sorry to drop by unannounced. Not many places I remember around here.
It has been a long time. Things change.
Doesn't seem like the house has much.
Come in. And he just walks away from the door, back toward, like, the kitchen area.
Yeah, and Farron will start to walk in, and as he passes by his mom, he'll kind of, like, squeeze her on the shoulder a bit.
Yeah, I think she'll, like, lean down to kiss you on the cheek.
Yeah.
And say, let me get something for all of that.
If we can borrow the bath later, that would be...
Of course.
And,
I trust you can show your friends around?
Sure I can.
She's like looking everyone up and down with like the armor and weapons. And
Yeah.
I'm unarmed.
Yeah. I
Is
think
that so?
I think Farron will just be like, I'll do a proper introduction with everybody once we're all inside and maybe settled, although I'm tempted to throw everybody in the ocean for a moment.
From the looks of them, might do them some good. Just get everyone some water or something. I'll be back down in a moment. She goes upstairs.
Yeah. Farron just gonna like look behind and everybody be like, all right, and just walk further into the house, probably towards the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, I don't remember what your mother does for work, but your father is a fisher, right?
They both do. They both
Okay.
are fishers.
Okay. I think you can see Eridan sitting at sort of the small dining table, working on oh god, what's it called? The fucking whale ivory thing.
Oh.
Scrimshaw.
Harpoon? Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
Scrimshaw. Yes. It's this thing where you take whale ivory and you carve pictures into it. He's
Cool.
doing that at the table. I'm I'm curious, what is different in here, Farron?
They burned all the pictures of you.
No, I think that things have been rearranged in the kitchen. I think as Farron is looking for glasses, like they go to the cupboard that they think glasses are in, but they're not there anymore, and so has to like go on a hunt for them. I think just generally small things like that, like when sometimes you just have to change things up a little bit, but over 50 years, little changes lead up to big changes.
Yeah.
New paint.
Yeah, I think
rearranged.
there's been some new paint and stuff, a couple new pieces of furniture,
Yeah.
like a chair or two now.
Yeah, like the chair set that you grew up with is just gone, and there are different chairs now.
Yeah. I think the curtains on the windows have been changed.
Every time you open an incorrect cabinet, you hear a disapproving grunt from Eridan.
I think Farron's not going to say anything and is just going to keep looking.
You find them eventually.
Yeah. Set them out and start pouring water. At least the faucet hadn't changed.
Yeah. That's true. That piece of plumbing has existed for like hundreds of years and will continue to be there until the heat death of the universe.
Yeah. Elven plumbing. Very hardy.
It's probably made of lead.
Not enough elves, it's cool.
Alicia comes back. And she has some spare linens and some like some fishing line and some hooks. And she sort of shrugs and says, "This is the best I have. But who's got things worse?"
Farron looks over at Gregor and Arrow.
Arrow looks at Willow.
I'm fine. It's just
You're not fine.
well, I'm not fine.
None of us are fine, but you are the least fine among us.
She slaps Gregor on the back. This man.
Oh. Gregor was like trying his best to hide it, but no.
She hit you right in a weak spot.
just this shooting like fire of pain runs through your entire body as the last like day and a half catches up to you.
Gregor will unenthusiastically say, "I'll go first, thank you, ma'am."
Yeah. She pulls a chair out from the table and gestures for you to sit.
I think at this moment, like, Gregor generally tries to keep a good attitude, and like the adrenaline probably helped, but I think as soon as he hits the chair, it's all just gonna sit in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gregor's gonna be like, ugh.
Yeah. It hurts. Alicia is not a doctor. She doesn't have any anesthetic. It sucks. But as she begins taking care of your wounds, Eridan will speak up without looking up from his scrimshaw. "So, who are these friends?"
Well, and points. I think it was kind of probably like just picking a random like order, just like based on his like close or whatever. This is Arrow. He's from Elisurgeon, with something like that.
All three of the elves look at you.
It's fine.
I think Hawk speaks up and says, I'm Willow. We're from a town just outside Magi's Crossing." He nods. "I've heard of it." There's an exchange like grimace, I think, between Willow and Fletch. Fletch will just offer, "I'm Fletch." Fun names where you come from.
Thank you.
What about you, young man?
Willow, here's my sister.
He looks up. Right. He turns to Gregor. I was talking to you.
I'm Greg. Ah! As like a needle goes through. Gregor, nice to meet you, sir.
And all of you do what? You're mercenaries?
I'm in security.
Gregor
Heads for
is-
hire.
Gregor's my bodyguard. And like Farron saying out loud, it sounded like that sounded weird saying that. Or that felt weird saying that.
Yeah.
Because you almost said boyfriend.
You see,
Bodyguard.
This is my boy guard, my body friend.
My body friend. Oh god. That's worse.
No,
I mean, not
think
wrong.
no, but it's just like one of those things of like where you say something and that doesn't sound right to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Relationship
What is
dysphoria.
he?
Yeah.
You see a meaningful glance go between your parents.
and well, when it comes to Ero, we became traveling companions. Did a bit of treasure hunting, bit of helping out folks in different towns. Little less mercenary than the stories that they used to tell here. Not like we do anything for money.
Hmm. So what happened to you?
A collapse. Right, Farron?
Yes, we were in some ruins searching for an item. And it all came crashing down. Not muggers or whatever else. Muggers are monsters. Just unstable architecture.
God, I miss monsters.
Erida just like looks at you with the deadest look you have ever received, Gregor. How long are you gonna be in town?
Not that long. We won't be in your hair. Just needed a place to, well, kind of gestures towards Gregor being patched up
Mm-hmm.
by their mother. You do that and sleep. And maybe look a little more presentable around town than this.
There's a tavern down the hill. Reasonable rates.
That's new.
Alicia looks up. I think as she like finishes a stitch. Aradan. He made his choice. Isn't that right, Farron?
I did make a choice.
You're gonna stick to it, or you giving up?
I set out what I set out to do. And I think he kind of like points, like gestures down at their clothing, which even with all
You
the
have a giant scythe on your back.
and the giant fucking scythe.
I forgot about that.
It looks great. Goes great with this ensemble you've crafted.
But even and like pointing at like the finery and stuff, right?
Mhm.
And like fact that they like elves here are not necessarily delicate looking, like especially in Cape Symbol,
Yeah.
where it's fishing and all these things. And Farron looks out of place because they just look too fucking dainty.
Yeah. Well, pre all the blood and grime. Yeah.
Yeah. Pre all the blood and grime. But like their build is still fairly dainty and all that stuff. It's just like shrugs. I'm not sure how much I am cut out for. Fisherman's work even after all this time.
All right. And he just sort of looks at you, and there's this long silence. Alicia pats you on the shoulder, Gregor. Well done.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Arrow just gives Willow a fucking look. Like, you
Willow's
better
not
sit
bleeding,
in that chair.
right?
No.
Yeah.
Is she not?
No.
I thought she was. Oh, her leg is like broke. Splint.
It's bad. Her leg is bad.
Yeah.
It was broken, and then if I remember correctly, Farron healed her.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went from literally she cannot walk to she can only limp with support.
Okay, so maybe get some crutches on that girl, some splints.
Yeah. Willow will like roll her eyes and then go and sit down. It's just
humor me.
She's like, it's just my leg. I'll be fine, really. And Alicia like rolls the pant leg up, and it's just like purple and bruised and not good. You make a lot of money doing that?
Enough to continue doing what we do. Besides, we usually have moments of recuperation like these, and I help along. It's more pressing.
How so?
Farron
He just
knows
sort of
that...
like looks you up and down again.
Yeah,
with that
Farron...
you just gestured to how frail you are.
Yeah. Farron's parents knew that they had some spark of magic. I think it's pretty hard to hide when you're a kid. You're like especially when you don't know that magic is not good if you're not a Bond Magi. And so I think Farron, like, they were discouraged from using it, but it was kind of like a don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use it. It's fine that you have it, just don't let anyone else know. And I think that Farron just kind of gestures with their hand, like, my other abilities.
You're a rogue magi, then.
There's only one way to survive. Not like many other people know, literally just the people in this room. The other person who knew is dead now.
You see Alicia's hand slip when you say that. And then she finishes patching up Willow's leg. Why don't all of you stay for dinner? It's almost time anyway.
That's very kind of you, miss.
I think Farron looks at their dad just to gauge the response before they say anything.
Would you like to roll discern realities?
Yeah.
Have fun. I hope you fail. For the XP, Kiana, for the XP. Get that sweet XP. You need it.
It's like
you need to level up twice, like me. I still need one more.
Okay. Discern
Gotta sort some
reality.
shit out.
Nope.
Congratulations! You're 1 point closer to leveling up twice.
Yeah, I mean, mark experience. You have no idea. You look at him, and you realize that you don't know him anymore. Like, you kind of do. You know a version of him, but so much has happened in these past 50 years that, like, his mannerisms have changed. And even what hasn't changed, like, so much of that has been forgotten in the intervening time that you just aren't familiar enough with him anymore to gauge what he's thinking.
There's a little bit of like that twinge of sadness of that. Because although they accepted that fact when they first left home,
it's hard to have to face that.
Yeah.
He stands up from the table, says, "I'll get dinner ready." And begins doing prep. I imagine it's a very fish-forward meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, Farron will just look over to his mom and like lean down and like kiss her on the cheek.
Yeah.
I should probably throw everyone into the ocean so we're not going to get dirt and blood and everything on your furniture.
Thank you, dear.
And I think like their house is like, although Cape Temple's kind of on a cliff, I think their house is kind of like has carved in steps that go down to like a very secluded little beach, essentially.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like great sand or anything or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a little pocket of the coast.
I like that.
And so he will start ushering people out.
Get out, get out, get out, get out.
Hi, welcome to Air is Afraid of the Ocean because of that one time he rolled really bad while looking at
it. So yeah, you are ushered toward the door. Gregor, how do you react to this? You're just sort of like doing what you're told, or?
I guess I guess Gregor will say, "Thank you once again. Really excited for dinner."
You get like a nod from Eridan.
Okay.
You feel like you're making progress.
I don't think that okay was out of character. I think that was in character.
Okay.
It wasn't initially.
He nods and you say, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I think Farron will like.
Bye, Dad. I mean.
Yeah, I think Farron is at the.
I love you, Dad.
I mean.
Yeah, because
Love you,
Farron's
Dad.
at
Bye.
the back ushering people out. I think probably Gregor's last, and Farron will just look up at Gregor and be like, "What?" Yes.
I'm trying.
Don't worry, Sarah. I'm gonna keep your boy safe. I'll have that conversation later.
Oh gosh, I just saw something horrible.
Yeah. So like the steps down aren't super steep, but they've clearly been there for like probably centuries.
Mm-hmm.
So like the stone is definitely very smoothed out.
It's like
and
worn
there's
over the
like-
edges.
There's like a dip, like
And
where
the-
the steps
yeah.
have gone
Yeah, love that.
over centuries, and Farron just kind of shooing people down.
All right. So you head down to the small beach. I think both Willow and Fletch are surprised at how salty the ocean is. Obviously, there are books that talk about the ocean, so they know on an intellectual level that the ocean is salty. But there's a difference between like putting some salt in your water and being like, I am having an unpleasant sensation of salt being in my water, and the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
Grimy deep.
So I think neither of them like keeps their mouth closed when they go to like actually walk up, and then they're both like, "Oh God, ah."
It's in their eyes, it's in their nose, it's in their mouth. It's awful. Arrow is literally standing as close to the stairs as you could possibly get and watching.
And I think Farron, as he's coming down last, it's like, at least just get some water on you. Wash off some of it.
Just standing there, just unwilling.
I don't think that the first time Farron has had to deal with like people in town, like visitors or whatever, who are scared of the fucking ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what about it are you afraid of?
It's just endless death. It's nothing.
Well, technically it's a lot of water. And salt.
Isn't that what I said?
I think Gregor's gonna go for the water. He's just gonna look back and be like, "You need to lighten up," and just keep going.
This part of the ocean here doesn't go much deeper than about my waist.
I just don't like it.
That's fair.
I think Willow is like basically sitting on the shore because she can't walk very well, and she calls over, says, "Arrow, help me get in."
I don't like.
I'll be right next to you, if that makes you feel more comfortable. And obviously I know how to swim and do all that very well.
No, I can swim. And he starts walking. I mean, the most swimming he's ever done is like in a river. Like
Yeah, and
Right.
Farron's like, I don't trust this, so I'm just gonna...
Maybe a lake.
yeah, maybe there's like a good lake in the forest, but
Yeah, it's the
you
one you
can
named your fucking
see
bird
it.
after.
You can see the whole. He didn't know that. You can. You can see the whole thing. You can see it. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing unknown about it. Also, there's no fucking waves. Like, what the hell? So
Not big ones.
yeah, tiny little. I mean, little wind waves.
Yeah.
So, but he's not gonna leave this one hanging, so he'll go reluctantly over there to help her.
Yeah, Farron is like...
It's also comforting to have her like right there next to him, right?
Yeah. So the danger here?
Yeah. Is I drown and die?
No, the danger is not that you drown and die. The danger is that you can't overcome your fear.
Oh. Sure. What
Um,
am I doing?
I'm gonna give you +1
Defy danger.
forward.
Oh,
for
cool.
Hawk. Or for Willow,
Sure.
rather.
I guess what would I be using? My intelligence?
Are you thinking quickly?
I don't know. What are my options? Hold on, let me look at
Okay.
this.
When you defy
Hold
danger,
on. Yeah. Okay.
when you act despite an imminent threat or suffer calamity, say how you deal with it and roll. If you do it by powering through, roll plus strength. By getting out of the way or acting fast, roll plus dex. By enduring, roll plus con. With quick thinking, plus int. Through mental fortitude, which I'm assuming is what this is, plus whiz.
Yeah.
Using
Yeah,
charm
yeah.
and social graces plus charisma.
Yeah, it's gonna be wisdom. All right, so wisdom +1, so 9. So
Woo. All right. On a 7 to 9, You stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Ooh. I'm going to give you a worse outcome. You begin walking forward, and as your feet leave the stone of the stairs and hit the sand, and you hear that that soft crunch, you hear the sound of an arrow piercing flesh, and the sound of a screeching harpy, and you hear Annika's voice say, "Do you know why it is there?" And with that, we are at the top of an hour. I'm going to step away to our second break of the night. We will be back in just a couple minutes to see what happens next. See you soon. Hello and welcome back to episode 18 of From Dust. Y'all have washed up at the ocean. You're still kind of gross, but you got the worst of it handled.
Sand scrubbing is really good for grime.
Sure, yeah.
As seen on America's favorite reality television show, Survivor.
I knew you were going to say that the moment you said America's favorite. I knew it. Look, your friends are allowed to like what they like. But once you're done sand scrubbing, and you can head back up the stairs, and you see smoke coming out of the chimney of Farron's house. Arrow, you're feeling weirdly shaken. You're dissociated, I think, is what you're feeling. Everything feels a little distant, and you're walking sort of on autopilot. What do you do?
I do that. I mean...
Okay.
Arrow is a suffer in silence type, as we have seen before, previous to this moment. But I think it's beyond, he doesn't want help. That's not... He doesn't want to impose on other people ever, for a lot of reasons. But I think in this situation, he literally can't. He doesn't know how to ask for help in this situation. It's not that he doesn't want help. It's literally, he's so out of it. And there's fear and a bad feeling that he can't quite put his finger on, and all this shit that just happened, and a lot of guilt on top of all of that. He does not know how to ask for help. He can't.
Does that manifest in some way, staying closer to certain party members, or
I would think staying farther away from them.
Okay.
He helps Willow, and he's just quiet. Mm-hmm. And once they're all headed back, he's just kind of at the back. He'll help her if she can't make it up the stairs, but
yeah.
Very autopilot, dead eyes.
Okay. Gregor, how about you? How are you feeling after you've had some moments to decompress?
Yeah, Gregor's feeling a little bit better now, probably very sore, very exhausted, but pain is subsiding. It probably feels really good, physically and metaphorically, to just wash all that off.
Mm-hmm.
So Gregor's definitely on the tired side. I think that's pretty obvious. A lot happened, and not truly rested in any sense. But but Gregor's in probably to the others a weirdly decent mood, and he is looking forward to this, and I think that's very obvious. May not be obvious why, but he is.
How so? What's different about the way that he's acting?
I guess just Gregor fully understands, all of the tension that like the Elisurdran elves have right now. Their home is in dire straits, and he also knows this is super awkward for Farron, but he's got like a bit of a pep in his step and like a bit of a smirk, and he's kind of like maybe walking a bit faster than everybody else.
Okay. You're like
might
taking
seem
two
kind of
steps at a
strange
time.
and kind of inappropriate.
Yeah. Okay, so you're like bounding ahead of the party as they make their way up these stairs. And as you get to the house, you hear voices inside.
Eavesdrop.
Would you like to listen in?
Yes. Do it. The devil on your shoulder is encouraging you to listen in quietly.
Gregor?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not subtly, like.
You hear Farron's parents talking. Eridan, if we send him out, he might not come back. That's the choice he made. Eridan, he's our child. We can't make his decisions for him. Not always. But sometimes, it's better if we weigh in. Alicia, they're their own person now. They made that clear. If they don't want to live here, they don't live here. And I think at about this point, Farron, you can catch up with Gregor.
And I think we'll kind of just be like, why are you just... give a look of why are you just standing here?
Sorry, back was giving out a little bit there. Shall we?
Make sure to take care of yourself.
And I think you just barely catch as you open the door and they immediately shut up. You hear Alicia say, "They were half dead. If we let them out again..." And then the door opens and she turns and smiles. I see you're much cleaner.
Not half dead anymore.
Right. And she moves awkwardly about and begins setting the table.
Farron will help.
Yeah, she directs you to where everything is moved. She's like, the plates are in here and silverware is in there and all that stuff. And yeah, I think dinner is it is important to me that I describe food in the games that I run, even though I'm like ravenously hungry right now. So this is a bad idea. But dinner is a I think it's like a honey glazed salmon on rice, with like maybe some cilantro or parsley mixed in with the rice. And it's, I think, Arrow, this is not particularly strange for you, but for Fletch and for Willow, they're like, what is this strange fish?
Yeah, they've never had saltwater fish before.
What is this?
Whoa.
Amazing.
Fishy. This is so fishy.
And they probably never had rice either. I don't think rice grows in Elisurdran.
Nope,
So.
It does not. We probably have a similar like grain type food, but it's not rice.
Yeah, you'll have like what, semolina? What's semolina made of again? I don't remember.
Quinoa.
Sure. Oh, wheat. Yes, I was right.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah.
you probably have like a semolina or like an acorn type grain that you use instead.
Yep.
So I think their surprise and their enjoyment is evident. I'm curious, though, Arrow, how do you react, given how spaced out you are?
I'll eat.
Okay.
But not a conversationalist, this one, on a good day.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a silence hangs over the dinner table. And in parts of it, it's because the food is good. And in other parts, there's just this heavy weight. So, treasure hunting.
Some treasure hunting is how most of us met, actually.
What got you there? I always thought you were interested in music.
I still am. But, well, I thought that if I was going to tell stories of adventures, I might as well experience some myself. There's a bit of realism in the experience.
Gregor's gonna like finish a bite. Just be like, Baron's fantastic.
Wow.
Great at what they do. Also, this isn't fantastic. Thank you both, by the way. Did you catch this?
We did.
Hmm.
This morning.
That's good. Fantastic. Fishing, that's a great line of work. Very respectable.
Aridin nods and just like take a sip of water.
I want you.
So how'd you become a bodyguard? Family business?
You can say that. I went through a couple different lines of work. I even worked on a couple of fishing vessels. Not long term, obviously, but did a lot of odd jobs, whatever I could.
Really?
You know, yeah. Trading, did a little bit of mining back in the day. And, just all that hard work makes you strong, and I figured I could put that to good use.
Where did
You know
you
something
fish
about
out
that,
of?
don't you? I'm gonna say Gregor's probably never been here. Gregor's home base was generally Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what would be around there?
I mean, you could do Sanctuary. It's on a river and it's right near a lake. So
All right. I think Gregor's done like once or twice, probably like been on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Probably the other side of the continent, I'm guessing.
I mean, there's two rivers, but you can also always make a new place up.
Yeah. Okay. I could do that.
What are you thinking? Coastal city, town?
That's what I'm
Village?
thinking.
Town?
Nah, a
Oh my
little bigger.
God.
Okay.
We get to name a new place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? Can you ping it on the map?
It's gonna be a landing. Something landing.
Ooh, King's. Wait.
No.
All right.
Can I do a little self-insert from a prior campaign of mine?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's called Malin's Landing.
Malin's
Named after
Landing.
the founders.
Okay.
Malin's Landing. I'm into it.
Malin's Landing, and
spell it for us.
what's the predominant culture like there? Is it a fast
Well,
town, a
it's-
slow town, very
It
spiritual
is
town?
a fast town because there's a lot of people from a lot of different places meeting up there.
Okay.
And it's probably one of the few places like it's really not weird to see all manner of things coming through.
Ooh, maybe. And you were saying like a city, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's out on an island.
I like that.
Like out here-ish. That should have
World
moved
is
your...
growing before our very eyes.
Alright, 1 second. And you said it was... What's landing? Whose?
Malin's landing. I put it in the Zoom chat.
Ooh, thank you. Malin. Sweet. Malin's landing. Alright. Okay, so you tell him that you did some fishing out of Malin's landing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Decent work out there. Good fish. What's it
yeah,
caught?
seas get real rough, though. I'm sure you've worked in a few storms.
A couple. We're fortunate where we are, though. Most of that's shielded by the mainland. Here in the Cape, could be worse.
Indeed.
So, how'd you end up working for my son?
I was sort of only a couple of years into my current line of work, and I put out some ads in Sanctuary, and kind of a drought. I'm sure that happens here too. And I was actually thinking about leaving, seeing if I could peddle my wares elsewhere, so to speak. And that's when Farron approached me.
Aridin just sort of like nods like he's considering this information, and Alicia says, well, Farron does have a discerning eye, so you must be good at what you do.
Thank you, miss. I like to think so. I take a lot of pride in my work.
I definitely think there's a point where Farron's just watching this conversation happen, and it's just like... I wouldn't say weirded out, but definitely like, huh. They're getting along a lot more than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Thing. Like, okay.
I think Alicia asks, so you said you have turned to music. You planning to perform it all while you're in town? I'd love to hear your work.
Well, I suppose if we stay out at the tavern, it's one way to get in the good graces of the people there.
What's wrong with just paying them?
I do still pay them. Just nice to have a good standing with the innkeepers I've found. Good relations.
He leans back and pushes his plate away from him because he's finished eating. Well, I can't pretend to understand what it is that you do. But I'm glad you came by.
I'm sorry I haven't written or visited more often. And that I had to come by at unfortunate circumstances.
He turns to Alicia. Honey, I promised Thorn I'd go by to pick up the spices tonight, so she nods. I have things covered here. He gets up. It was a pleasure to meet all of you. I hope your stay in this town is restful. And he leaves.
Right before he heads out the doors, Francis. Thank you. The food is just as delicious as I remembered.
I think he's stepped through the doorway, and so he's out of sight. But you hear his walking stop for a moment, and then he continues.
Yep.
What do you do?
And Farron will just kind of not acknowledge any of the feelings, but there's definitely this complicated expression that crosses his face. Kind of a mixture of sadness and bit of regret, but also kind of like a resignation of like, is this what I expected?
I think Alicia begins cleaning up after dinner, like getting dishes off the table, and says, well, if you want to come by for breakfast in the morning.
Thank you.
And she walks closer. He is glad that you're home.
So it had a very strange way of expressing things, I know.
Well, you had a very strange way of leaving.
Is it alright if I go up?
I think, yeah, you both start talking at the same time.
Yeah.
She sighs.
You first.
You're not off the hook with me either.
I know, Mother.
I'm just glad that you're not dead. I was worried.
I know.
20 years is a long time to not hear from someone.
It's hard to write timely letters on the road.
Well,
and I was quite literally across the continent.
It's hard for us to write to you, but perhaps you can consider sending word more often? We're not going anywhere.
I think the world would end if Father ever decided to move.
For an elf of the sea, he is stubborn as a mule.
I'll make sure to write more often.
Thank you. Now, what did you want?
Is it alright if I go up to my old room?
You see the grimace. It's been a long time since you've been home, bud.
It's a craft room now.
Yeah.
She says it's in a bit of disarray, but yes. All your old things are still there.
In boxes.
So right. Yeah. I just wanted to look for something.
Sure thing. And I think she like gives you a kiss on the top of your head, and then turns to clean the dishes. Her eye catching on like the pile of weapons leaning up against the front door. You just got this like a backpack with a sword sticking out of it, and then like this huge black scythe and a hammer. And
Skullbreaker's been real quiet.
He has.
Hmm.
That's
That's
true.
suspicious.
Isn't it, though? And she turns to clean some dishes, and I think Fletch will volunteer to help with that. Do you want to go up to your room?
Yeah, I think it's just I'll be right down. I just wanted to check on something.
I think while like Fletch is helping with the dishes, Gregor will ask, "Need a hand?"
I mean, sure. If you wanted to, you don't have to.
That's fine. Ow, it's fine.
You don't exactly sound fine.
ah,
You should be resting more.
ah, get a little movement in after dinner. It's good for you.
Definitely gives the okay. Like, look.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but won't protest much. And head upstairs.
And I think our camera stays downstairs for now. Willow and Arrow are sitting alone at the dinner table. And I think Willow scoots her chair closer to yours and gives you a hug.
It's nice.
How are you doing?
I don't know.
I am furious with you for coming to get me, but also thankful.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, of course.
You have to promise you won't think I'm crazy.
Okay.
You know how Farron had that? How whatever power brought us here.
Mm-hmm.
I have one like that too. I mean, it's not the same, but I got it the same way. When we were in the tunnels and there was that collapse and I got you out, you might have been unconscious. We died. You and me.
Wait. What? No, we didn't. Arrow, we're here.
No, we did. We died. And I used that power to rewind time and do things differently, but I can only do it once for myself. And so we didn't die. But for a second we did. I can't stop thinking about it.
Arrow.
I just can't believe that there was ever a world that I couldn't save you.
She gives you
I'm
another
sorry.
hug. Arrow. Look. I'm alive. You're alive. That's what matters.
But I can only do it once, and I'm just... If I mess up again...
Arrow. And she, like, is holding your shoulders and, like, trying to make eye contact with you. We should have died 100 times over. In what world do you get into that army and then we get out? In what world does the sky come crashing down on us and we escape? In what world do you pull me through an ancient ruin and we get away from those golems? Sometimes mistakes happen. But we're here, aren't we?
Yeah.
This might not be precisely where I thought we would be, but I'm a big fan of not being dead. It seems to be working out pretty well so far.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm sorry.
No. You have nothing to apologize to me for. You crawled
That's
through an
generous of
army
you.
of zombies to get me. If you ask me, I
Yeah,
have the
but-
best brother in the world.
I'm the one who got you into the army of zombies.
I'm pretty sure it was the zombies that did that. I could be misremembering, but you weren't
I asked
there,
you to
were
go.
you?
I'm the reason you went. At all.
And if not me, then someone else.
I need your help with something else.
Anything.
He just like glances over to the kitchen at Allie.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what to do.
I noticed she, decided on her name.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for?
I don't know. A lot happened while I was gone, and things are just messed up and complicated. And I don't know what I don't know what I want, and I don't know what I deserve. But I just want things to be better.
Look,
She was...
You know I'm in your corner. I have your back whenever you need it. But you messed up. With her. Big time. She was really upset. She didn't leave her house for a month.
So... Can I fix it?
I think the
Can
fact that she's here says a lot.
She came for you.
Well, she didn't name herself after a tree now, did she?
I don't know where to start.
Well, you said a lot happened while you were gone. Maybe start there.
By telling her what happened?
I mean, probably?
I feel like that will make things worse.
Well, I don't think keeping things from her has had a particularly good track record for you.
Yep. You're right.
So... Look, she's my friend. And I feel like I'm obligated to tell you that if you break her heart again, I will kill you. But... I mean, you're not the only one that's changed, Arrow. Time passed for all of us just the same.
Okay.
Just don't fuck shit up.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
She slaps you on the shoulder. Relax. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, it's just been a long day.
You don't say. I think we could all use some rest. Is now a bad time for me to tell you that I don't have any of whatever money they use here?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay, because that's true.
I mean, I've got you covered.
Oh.
I haven't been exactly slacking off for the past... How long has it been? Year?
Several years, I think.
Several years? 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. Yeah, she says, well, I wouldn't know. We haven't talked about it.
Well, I'm telling you now, I haven't been slacking off for the past few years.
Yeah, well, what does not slacking off look like?
He's
you get
like a fucking huge bag of money.
Yeah, no,
he's so rich.
She's like, did you get a construction job? Did you build houses?
No.
Did you sell yourself to ledgers?
Yes, that's what I did. I sold myself to ledgers.
I mean, Mother and I sort of assumed you didn't have...
It's because of my incredible good looks, isn't it?
Right. Well, and your lack of general talent.
Oh. Thank you. It's generous of you.
It's good to spend time together again.
I missed you a lot.
I missed you too. And I think we can cut to upstairs. It's a pretty narrow stairway, I think, and it leads up to a small landing with a similarly narrow hallway. There's a door that leads to Farron's room, and presumably a door that leads to their parents' room. And looking into your childhood room, Farron, there's a lot of boxes. There's a lot of boxes. You see some scattered fishing equipment, some nets that are in the process of being repaired. There's like a stack of sailcloth. There's a faint smell of fish that just sort of permeates the room.
Well, not sure what I expected.
Gregor will follow and be like, oh. because Gregor like expected to see like Farron's childhood room, like as it were. That's a lot of. It smells like fish in here.
It seems that this is a storage room now. Makes sense. Need space.
I bet your old stuff's under it. So aren't you glad I came in now? And Gregor will step in and like help move some stuff.
I think Fair will roll their eyes a little bit. Good to have some muscles, yes.
Yeah, Gregor, you like lift a box and you feel your entire back be like, "Are you sure about this?" But you actually managed to excavate. You do excavate a bed, so it appears that most of the stuff, like the furniture, is still here. Just has succumbed to stacking disease.
Yeah, I think as soon as like the bed's uncovered, you're gonna be like, "All right," and like sit on it.
It groans ominously.
Please don't break into the furniture, though. Seems you've gotten into the good graces of my parents already.
Oh, that? Farron, I've never been fishing in my life.
I think that, like, Farron just, like, tilts their head and then just starts laughing.
What? Like, I saw you floundering, no pun intended. You know, it was getting really weird, so, you know, I figured I'd speak his language, you know?
You can never let him find out that those were all lies.
Oh, no, I mean, I've, like, caught a couple fish. I went to Malin's Landing.
I've seen a fish once.
I was working security on the boat.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Covering.
This is probably a lot, isn't it?
Certainly strange. Being back here.
It's an awful thing.
Not awful, per se. Well, I never thought I'd be back here, for one.
I didn't think we'd be back anywhere a few hours ago.
Well, better awkward family reunions than whatever it was that got undead and Eldrin and spiders and automatons.
That was a nice change of pace.
No, it's not terrible being back here.
No.
Even in context.
This is honestly like, you know, I know you're doing your own thing and that's great, but you know, your parents seem like real nice people and this didn't seem like the worst place to grow up.
No, they're upstanding citizens and all, and just kind of gestures towards themselves. I never really fit in. Would you believe if I told you that I was a problem child?
Yeah. I saw it.
Yep. Certainly, never quite fit in with the whole stay here and fish for your whole life kind of culture.
Gonna go look around a bit and kind of be like, wonder if I would have.
I think you would have actually been good at it.
Probably. I don't know. I never had any of this.
Maybe retirement plans?
You think your parents will let me bunk with?
As long as they don't find out that you didn't actually fish.
Maybe I'll actually do a little after we stay Bella Surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what were you looking for?
I'm sure they read through it. I left a journal here. It's well, it's quite outdated and I haven't updated it clearly in 50 years, but have some bits and pieces in it.
Gotta fill in those missing chapters.
Sure, we can call it that. And I think they'll just open up one of these boxes and just kind of start digging through.
Yeah, I will say these boxes, like, cardboard doesn't exist. So these are like crates. But you can dig around for a bit and eventually you'll find it. I think you like uncover your desk and like clear some cobwebs away, and there it is. It's kind of faded. It's a little hard to read, but it's there.
And I think Farron will very delicately pick it up and like brush off the dust and kind of shake out the pages a little bit. And we'll kind of just look at it. They'll look over at Gregor. Reading through these pages, so many of the problems I had seem so trivial now.
Yeah, there's some saying about hindsight being clear. You're better with those than I am.
You know, I think I would have died out there without you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When I first told my parents about the possibility of me leaving, my father was always like, "You're going to die out there. There's going to get mugged. You're going to find a monster and it will immediately kill you." Which wasn't the case as soon as I stepped out of town, which was really what I told all the children. Don't leave border to town or a harpy will come and snatch you up.
That kind of happened.
And the only reason I'm still here is that you were there.
You haven't died since. Hey, you got to meet me, and then your parents got to meet me. It's good times had by all.
I think Fern will smile at that.
And I think that makes up for everything.
Do you, though? Is that really what it is?
Your dad really likes me. I can tell.
I think he likes you more than he likes me right now.
Well, you know, maybe I'm like the stepping stone. You know, you guys are in two different places, and maybe I can help you meet halfway. That sounded a lot better in my head.
I get what you mean.
That's good. You always do. That's good.
Yeah. And I think Farron just kind of tilts their head as if thinking. You know, it was kind of weird to introduce you as my bodyguard. Like, technically, that's what you are. How we met. Is it just me?
No, actually. That was weird too.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I've been doing it for almost like a year.
Yeah. Like, we're friends now. Like, we're way more than that.
Right. We're friends.
Yeah.
So, friends, you still protect me, but because we're friends and not because of some monetary obligation.
Well, yeah, now I protect you because I care about you. You know, Arrow doesn't pay me either.
He has the money to afford it.
Yeah, no, he can buy my shield.
We should definitely go and get that fixed at some point.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But, you know, I'm glad you and your folks are going to start writing again.
Yeah. I'm going to have to figure out some regular way of sending word. Which will be interesting.
Can't you just zoom back now?
I don't think that's how it works. I don't even know how it works. I'm going to have to look into it. Like, I didn't will to be here. I think I would have chosen someplace else. That wasn't awkwardly my childhood home.
I mean, we were in danger. I'd probably choose home, too, in a moment's notice.
I don't know if I consider this home anymore.
I'm thinking it might be a little bit if you came back.
True. But, feels obnoxious saying it, but kind of in the... I've grown out of this place.
Yeah.
Like, look at the bed.
I like to think there's like a Gregor imprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he
Yeah.
was.
You're sitting up on it. You're taking up like half of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of... Even for me, it's a little small now.
You know, I don't think home's always somewhere you gotta stay. It's, you know, it's always somewhere you can always come back to. I think that's probably the best balance for you and your folks. I think you made real headway today.
Kind of just like... Oh, well, Farron will like roll their eyes, but still have a smile. Indeed, we did. Thanks to you.
Look, I probably would have died out there without you too. Muscle
sure you
doesn't
would have
work
gone
for
in-
everything.
I'm sure you would have gone into something or place and tried to fight your way through it.
Yeah.
Or not patch yourself up. Looking very pointedly at
Yeah.
He had like 50 bandages. He's just a mummy.
I didn't get to say it to your dad, but like, you know I trust my life with you, right?
I think Farron's eyes widen at that.
That was gonna be like my big clencher before he left, but look how great Farron is.
And I trust my life with your hands. we should probably go down and, well, first clean this up and then go down and get a room at the inn.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Your back's not gonna give out?
They'll just have to carry me.
I'm sure it'd be quite a sight. And Farron will smile up at Gregor, and I think probably like put her hand on his arm as kind of like a, and then like take it away after a second, just being like kind of like the thank you, and now this is
This contact has become awkward. Goodbye.
It's like I don't know. It's like I think his face kind of showed. I don't know why I just did that. That was this kind of like momentary confusion of afterwards. Definitely not an I hate this thing. Definitely like a
yeah. Usually Gregor would probably be very oblivious.
Yeah.
But I think even he kind of had a moment like, hey, that didn't suck.
Yeah. And they're just gonna clean up and head down, I guess.
Okay. I think around that point, dishes are done, and the natural momentum to move toward the door and collect things has begun. And as you get your coat back on and your dirty, fucked up coat that you're gonna need to replace like all of your clothes. All of you are. As you get set up and head out into the night, we cut to somewhere else. We cut to the gate of Cape Symbol, which we have seen once before. We saw when Farron was leaving in that memory and looked down. But now we see a tall, shadowy figure step up. And a guard holds a torch up and says, "Blazes, what are you doing here?" The person says, "Apologies. I have been traveling long. I seek somewhere to rest for the night." Yeah, sure." And the gate, opens up. The guard, looks out into the darkness to make sure, this isn't a trap or something. And the gate opens, and the figure nods a hooded gesture toward the guard, and then stops and says, "Have you seen someone with a scythe recently?" No, can't say I have." And we hear a vague whispering sound, like many quiet voices whispering. And the figure says, "Thank you," and walks in. And we are going to go to our final break of the evening. We're going to step away for a couple minutes. And when we return,
who the fuck?
Will we find out who that is?
Why do I recognize her voice? Don't
See
like
you
this.
soon.
Goodbye.
Hello and welcome back to the final hour of episode 18 of From Dust. You make your way to the inn. The inn here is not fancy. Cape Symbol is not a poor town by any means, but it's the creature comforts aren't a big cultural thing here. So a week's stay is the only way that in stays are given to me in the book. So we're gonna go with that for now. But a week's stay at this inn would be 30 minus
Per person?
your charisma coins. Yes, per person. And as before, I will happily just go with Theron's charisma, as I assume they would be the one
Thanks.
doing this work
It's
anyway.
me. Yeah, my charisma's a 17.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm actually gonna give you a +1 on that because you're from here.
Woo!
Okay.
So
my
I think-
charisma's an 18.
Yeah, you know how to interact with people here and like get them to be like, oh yeah, you're not so bad.
Yeah, it's a very different side of Farron. Because usually they go very like hello, friend.
Mhm.
But with this, they're actually way more subdued and subtle.
Okay, let's go through that a little bit.
Yeah.
So you come into this inn, which is called, it's called the Last Net, and the sign out front is of a sailor, holding like a stein, clearly drunk, being dragged
Say that
along
name
by a fishing net. The Last
what?
Net.
Last net.
Yes.
Are in cave symbol.
And the innkeep working right now is it's an elvish woman. Let me just check my notes. He said. Ba, 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 ba. Ooh, what a wonderful name. Okay. She's pretty small. She's a very small person. She's like Lindy size for a person.
Incredible.
But she's tall enough that she can like see over the bar that she's working at. But there's like a sizable stepping stool behind the counter. And she comes in and waves over to you. It's pretty quiet tonight. I think it's mostly people like already nursing their drinks and that sort of stuff. So she'll wave you over.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the Last Net. I am Alvara. I will be your innkeeper tonight. What can I get you?
Nice to meet you, Elvira. We're actually looking for a place to stay, and we were recommended your establishment here.
Oh, out-of-towners?
Yep. I have some familiarity with the area, but it's all of their first time around.
Is that so? I thought I got the faint whiff of fish off of you.
We did have a little swim in the ocean.
I meant you've got you know, a local look to you. She pulls a big wooden box out from under the counter. How many of you?
Farron will look back and mostly at Arrow and the two girls.
Arrow's not gonna get a room, but he will pay for the two girls to stay here. So he would just hold up 2.
2 rooms?
2 rooms.
All right. What brings you into the town? I think she like pulls out a journal and starts writing, or like a ledger and starts writing in it to record her information.
Well, just passing by on the travels. As I said, I'm familiar with the area, so thought it'd be a nice stopover.
Well, you came to the right place. There are plenty of places where you can get drunk in a ditch here, but this is the only place you can get drunk with a roof. She turns the ledger around, slides it towards you, and holds out the quill. Just sign here.
Yeah, I think Farron will smile at that. It's like, it's good to have a place like this. So do they remember all the people getting drunk in ditches, and will sign his name.
Yeah, well, that's why my pops built the place. Turns it around, check marks. After he had to... Well, did you see the sign out front? That's there for a reason. One of my She closes the ledger and puts it back under. One of my father's shipmates went overboard because he was drinking on the job, and well, my father had been drinking too, so he just about ran out of nets before he managed to get his friend back on the boat. But, everything worked out.
I'm sure that dunk sobered them up quite quickly.
Well, they did celebrate their their sudden luck with more drinking on shore, but I'm reasonably familiar with how to take care of drunk people now. That'll be 24 coin.
What? I mean, I know that. God, I'm trying to find my coins again.
No, Arrow puts it on the counter.
Just all 24.
Yep.
Thanks, Arrow.
You're welcome. Have a good friend. She takes the coin and puts it in the box and then puts it under the counter. Can I get any of you good friends anything to drink?
Just water, please.
Well, we found the human.
Wait, it's not normally like
that. I think Farron will laugh at that.
I drink a lot.
Like, to be fair, he normally isn't like this.
I'm not a lightweight.
He's just a little. Yeah, he's just a little banged up.
Yeah, she grabs a stein and fills it up from a tap and says, "This is some fine human ale that should be about the strength for you." Slides it over.
Bear's a little offended, but takes it.
It is water.
All right.
And
I'll mutter something about elf.
Yeah, and Farron will get some meat.
I think Willow and no, I think Willow immediately hobbles over and sits down on a seat and asks for whatever Alvara recommends. But Fletch is just gonna say, "I'll head up, I think."
Fern will hand her the key. What? Let us know if you need anything.
She turns to you, Arrow. Take care of her.
Yeah, of course.
She re-shoulders
my stuff.
Yeah, your stuff and her stuff, and probably some of Willow's stuff too. Mm-hmm. And just makes her way to the stairs and heads up. What do you do?
Damn it! Well, if she hadn't said what she said, I'm not getting anything to drink. I want to be sad and sober because that's worse somehow right now. He was gonna go talk to her, but the moment she says take care of her, he's like, oh yeah, if my little sister's drinking, I've got to look out for her. His plan is to stay with Willow until she decides it's time for bed, get her to her room, and then go find a really nice patch of grass to sleep in somewhere outside, away from the ocean. I feel like here we can still hear the ocean, right? Mm-hmm. In this,
yeah.
He doesn't like that.
I don't think there's anywhere in town that you can't hear the ocean.
Are you sure? But you can get further away.
Yeah.
Dylan, I would like to say, as somebody who has been near the ocean previously in my life, that is not true. You can get 2 seconds away from the ocean and not be able to hear it anymore. You can smell it for sure. But if you go over a dune, the sound of the ocean is gone.
I guess you mostly get the wind.
Yeah.
I say as someone who literally lives right next to the ocean.
Dylan, I'm just saying, you can't hear the ocean from half a mile away.
No. You're right.
Okay.
I think Hawk turns to you, nursing her drink.
Sure.
Says, "I'm fine. Or Willow, I should say.
No, I know you're fine. She told me to stay here.
Hey, Farron, can I ask your advice on something?
Can we not?
I mean, I'm open.
So I have these friends,
All right.
and they have like a bit of a complicated history.
Oh, we don't have to have this conversation right now.
But you know, they both care, right? And but they have a lot to work through, right? That history is complicated and it gets in the way a lot. What would you recommend, right? Like I'm trying to help them figure their stuff out, and like, because they're gonna have to spend a lot of time together, and it's gonna be really awkward if it's like all tense and weird the whole time. And she's just like staring at Arrow while she's talking.
Yeah, I think
I'm just like, nope.
Farron has the
Hate
good,
it.
Yeah,
Hate
Farron
it.
has the good graces of like not showing that he knows.
Not grinning and being like, ooh, like,
Yeah,
I know
like
what's going
that he
on.
knows what she's talking about. It's pretty clear to them, but they're gonna have like the etiquette to be like treat it as a hypothetical, quote unquote.
Yeah, a regular person, based on the way Arrow is behaving, would be able to understand
Oh,
that it
yeah.
is about Arrow. If you were like, oh, I don't know what's going on, and she was just like, it's about my friend. The moment you saw Arrow's face, you'd be like, oh, that's the friend that we're talking about right now.
But again,
Yeah.
Yep.
Farron
Being
has
so kind.
Farron being
So
real nice.
blissfully ignorant.
Yeah.
But now one of those friends is sort of like clinging to excuses to like not deal with it, and I'm just not sure. What do you recommend? What would you recommend I tell them?
Well, certainly. It depends on how close you are to this friend of yours.
Like
I would
siblings.
probably... Right. Probably tell them to get up their ass and go and actually have a conversation.
Hey, barkeep, Alvaro, was it? Can I get a second one of these? She just pats the bar. It'll be here when you're done.
All right, and he just gets up.
Yeah, and I think Farron will just be like, Rebecca and I will be able to look out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Mad at you too, Baron. You're in trouble too.
Yeah, I mean, they're eliminating one of the excuses.
But yes, he will go upstairs to the room.
Yeah, I think Willow leans over and is like, "Look, Arrow just likes to make excuses to not do stuff that's hard and upsetting. But if you just light a fire under him, he'll get going."
I wish it was the same thing for getting him to open up about some stuff.
Have you tried literal fire? Worth a try.
I think Fran will like look up at Gregor and just be like, I mean, it doesn't sound like the worst idea.
Or he probably did it once.
Rory probably did it once.
Look, just let me know if you're planning on doing it. I'll keep a bucket on hand.
Gregor's gonna chuckle and be like, man, some people just can't pick up on signals.
She spits into her cup a little bit. It's like, yeah.
Zing.
we cut to Arrow. And I think Lake comes and like lands on a window.
My girl.
Near the top of the stairs.
Girl.
He just looks over at her and he's like, just give me a reason that I can't go in here right now.
Are you staying here tonight?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
That's not helpful.
Do you need me to catch you a mouse?
No. Just keep an eye out for anybody suspicious, okay?
Okay.
Good girl. He'll knock on the door.
Come in.
He opens it, but he doesn't come in. He doesn't like step into the door. He's like in the doorway because it might not have been him. She deserves a second chance to say goodbye, go away.
Yeah, I think she's got like her hair down and she's brushing through it and like getting the snarls out. And she looks up. Oh. Hello?
Can I still come in?
Her gaze drifts to where all of her stuff is and where your bow is. Yeah.
He walks in and shuts the door and kind of walks closer but doesn't like sit down. Willow said that I should come talk to you. Kind of.
Really?
We're going to be together a lot.
It is a long way home.
And I want to figure things out with you.
She stops brushing her hair.
We didn't always feel so far away. I mean, you and me.
Arrow.
You're my best friend. I know that I fucked up. The last night that I was with you, I should have told you, and I mean, I nearly did, and it was just our home. And the idea of leaving already just me felt like I was betraying everything that we'd ever known. And I felt like you would do whatever to try and make me happy. Even if it wasn't what you wanted.
She puts the hairbrush down.
When you say that you would come if I had asked, I feel like I knew that. Always.
That's the thing, Arrow. And we've been over this. It wasn't your place to make that decision for me.
No, I know, I just didn't want you to have a regret
I had a long time to regret, Arrow. You'd always talked about leaving, and I should have known that at any moment it could have happened. I should have talked to you more about it. Maybe if I had expressed interest, then you would have said something. Maybe if I hadn't been out in the forest that day, I would have known that you were leaving. Maybe. But none of it changes what happened. What is it that you want to fix?
Do you still... Do you still love me?
Are you sure you want to know the answer to that?
Yes.
Arrow, I did not do things at my expense because I thought that they were what you wanted. You never held that power over me. If you had asked me to go, I would have said yes. So you thought you were leaving your home by leaving Illuserdrun. But my home left me when you went away. The truth is, I don't know. I thought about this conversation hundreds of times, what I would say. If you came back, if I left and I found you. And I don't know anymore. I don't know how to separate how I felt before you left, how I felt after you left. All of these conversations with a ghost that wasn't there. But I do want to know the answer. I came here for Hawk, but if it had been someone else and you'd asked, I would have come.
Can I kiss you?
Not yet. She reaches out and takes your hand and squeezes it. I'm sorry, I'm not there.
You have nothing to be sorry for. Nothing.
She looks down at the floor. This has been the longest day of my life. And as much as half of me is screaming to look for answers right now. I know that I'm in no place to find anything but sleep.
I won't be staying here tonight, but please don't worry, I'm not going far. I just don't sleep well inside.
Well, she looks around. It is very different here. She looks at the bed. I'll give this place a try, but who knows how well it'll work. She lets go of your hand and picks the brush back up.
I'll make sure Willow gets up.
Good. There's a lot going on right now, but she needs you.
I need her too. I need both of you.
I'm glad we're here.
I don't know that I can say that I'm glad.
I should say, I'm glad we're with you.
He just turns back in and goes over to the door. Good night, Allie.
Good night, Kosa.
He leaves. Goes back downstairs.
You go back downstairs, and we see you. We see Willow lift the undrunken drink toward you, with like a celebration or mourning.
He's like,
We get a little bit of party Willow. And when you leave for the night, Arrow, you pass somebody coming into the inn. A tall figure wearing black robes, hooded robes, and you recognize in a moment of panic, once you're outside the door, you've like stepped out, you like step to the side to let them in, that they're the robes of a bonds mage. And the figure sits down next to Farron and says, "Hello. Are you Farron?" And with that, we are going to end episode 18. So,
screaming forever.
Thank you all so much for coming to our reunion show, Trace Sad Boys reunion. Gosh, it feels so good to be back to this. We will be back in 2 weeks. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Pray, give money to charity. I don't know, do whatever you can. But yeah, we'll be back for episode 19 in 2 weeks. But before that happens, let's go around and do some outros, starting with the man, the myth, the legend, the boy that finally talked about his feelings, Summer.
What do you mean 2 weeks? What do you mean 2 weeks? How am I supposed to make it? How am I supposed to make it? Oh, God, that was so good. We had laughs and cries, and we had feelings and not feelings. What's opposite of feelings? I don't know what they are, but you get them. Wow, I'm just so happy we're back. This is so good. I'm so happy. Thank you everyone for being here. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet about everything that I am doing. Please just go there because that is where I retweet everything. There's a ton of stuff you could if you want to support me, you could support me on Twitch at @off_the_table. You can support me on Patreon at @off_the_table. You could support me on Itch.io if you want to buy any of my games. It's just summer job, I think. But yeah, just Twitter. Just go to Twitter. If you need a cool map, I do maps now. That's it. Twitter. And then 2 weeks. Oh, I'll be back here tomorrow night.
Yes.
For some post-kiss drama.
Yes. Ooh.
I got my first kiss, and it's so exciting. I did not get a kiss tonight. That's okay. But I got a kiss last time. So. We smooched, and it was excellent.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along. It's fine. It's fine. I understand that there's one thing you care about in RPGs summer, and it is getting the smooch.
And oh my god, I can't express how mad I am about it right now.
And speaking of people who didn't get the smooch because they didn't know it was there, Kiana!
Oh, it's so good to be back. Tech issues and all. And I'm a person of tabletop role-playing game, actual play streams. Man. Yeah, it's been good. I love these characters. Every single time I'm able to see them and play them and all that fun stuff. Listen, y'all, we've been having the slow burn since episode fucking 2. And like, this is the most I've ever had a chat about possible feelings that were not just traveling companion / bodyguard and client.
Yeah, be grateful, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just imagining all of the things that are now going to be really awkward. Oh, we sleep in the same bed.
Oh!
I'm not going to be able to... now I'm going to be hyper aware of everything. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I can't wait to be back in a couple of weeks. But until then, you gotta find me over on Twitter at KennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. Come on the internet, play all sorts of tabletop role-playing things, whether that's streaming or writing or shouting into the general void. I'm gonna internally scream about Bond's mad shy being here. It's fine.
It's fine. What? It is okay. What could go wrong? Last but certainly not least, the least sad of Trace sad boys this time around, Gregor. Adam.
Hi guys, I'm Adam. Follow me on Twitter at AdamRoVO. That's where I share all my stuff. I'm a voice actor. I post about tabletop RPGs on YouTube. And my big project that I have coming out, if you didn't catch it earlier, is I'm working on an audio drama, a 4-part radio play called Spritz the Goblin, about a goblin who's sick of being a goblin and wants to do as the humans do. So I'm really excited about that. I'm thinking maybe a week or 2 for the first episode. Everything's written. I just need to record and edit it now. So it just really depends on if I decide to do it one episode at a time or just slingshot it all at once. We'll see how I'm feeling with that. Also, it was going to be tomorrow originally, but I'm finally going to be on another tabletop gaming stream because I haven't been able to find one that works for me. It's called Chronicles of Latio, and it's set in a Victorian world, which I'm very excited for. I'm playing a halfling warlock, a very, very different character, Gregor. And I'm real stoked about that. That should be in it was going to be tomorrow. I had to get pushed off, but it'll be probably about 2 weeks. So hopefully the day after our next session, all things go well. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And putting all these motherfuckers into a bunch of trouble. It's me. Hello. I'm Dylan, aka Anarsis. That is Anarisis. You should probably know how to spell that if you're watching this. You can find me at that name on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Itch.io, and Patreon. And I want to shout out a couple specific things. The first one being my Patreon, which you just heard me mention. It is the best way to support me in all of the creative things that I do. I am an independent creator in many ways, and in most ways that involves not earning a lot of money. So if you would like to help out with that, the best way you can do that is by going to Patreon and pledging however much money you feel comfortable doing so on a monthly basis. And wait, there's more. My Patreon is entirely structured around goals rather than pledge tiers. So if you are a person who can only pledge like $1 or $2, you do not get less than anybody else, because I believe in the power of socialism. Our current goal, which we are hitting at the moment, is to have me do weekly giveaways of my RPG stuff, and I'm actually drawing the winners for this month's later tonight. But our next goal, which we are, let me do some math, $29 away from, $29 a month away from our next goal, which will have me releasing homebrew content every single month. And I actually just did a preview of what that would look like, essentially, on my Patreon, which you can go look at right now, which has 25 custom items for both Ryutama and Dungeon World. This campaign, this setting and system that we're playing in. There are a version for each system, for each item, and some of them are really silly and ridiculous, and some of them are kind of cool. And Kiana might have...
based on people.
They are based on people, and Kiana might have a knife.
It might be a heart knife, like a heartbreak knife. It's really good.
So if you want to get a look at what that would look like, that is the way you can do that. But there's a ton more. There's a bunch more custom RPG content from playtest notes and all that I have in a semi-finished, almost ready to put in front of people stage. So once we hit that goal, you can expect lots of juicy RPG goodness for you to put in your own games and try out. The other thing I want to mention is the bit goal on this channel, which goes toward me running one-shots whenever we hit that goal. One-shots where I get to pay my cast, which is a luxury. And specifically... we have a date. Finally, we have a date for the first Bit Goal one-shot, which will be Monster of the Week. The game is titled The Gate and takes place in San Francisco, the city that I call home. And it is coming to you on the 7th of September at noon Pacific, if I remember correctly.
Noon Pacific.
And will feature the role-playing talents of Summer and Kiana and Little Cup of Joe, Jess.
Yeah.
And
We're polycule.
they're all dating each other.
We're in love.
We're polycule with some monsters thrown in. It's great.
So yeah, definitely tune in for that. But also, if you're interested in enabling more one-shots, you can see in the background, I actually have a book right there, the Things from the Flood rulebook. That is the goal that we are working toward next. So, if you want to see that Things from the Flood one-shot sometime in the future, bits are the best way to do that. And speaking of which, Rock, thank you for the 200 bits at the end of the show here. But also, thank you to a bunch of people. Tonight was... y'all were popping off tonight. Let me scroll down. Thank you, Matthias, for the 10-month resub. Holy shit, that's a long time. We're coming up on a year now. Jesus. Thank you very much. Thank you to Rock for the 8-month resub. We are 1 month off from the sub, baby. Start thinking about names, Rock. Thank you to Mal for the host. Thank you to Other Doc for the raid. Also, hello, Jim. And of course, to Rock for the bits there. And I think that is everything in my alerts. Thank you all so much for watching, though. Even if you didn't do any like shenanigans with the Twitch, thank you for just watching this. If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it live, if you chatted, if you lurked, if you are for some reason watching a clip of just this part of the broadcast somewhere on social media, thank you. Every little bit definitely helps. And if Summer knocks over her mic too much, she's going to need the help anyway to get a new mic. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. This would not exist without you. So thank you. But most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night.